Andrew Lloyd Webber has written some of the most popular musicals of all time. His works include Jesus Christ Superstar, Phantom of the Opera, Cats, and many other famous musicals. His talent for writing music, accompanied by Tim Rice's genius lyrics, earned him many awards and titles over his still ongoing career. But unlike many other musicians like George Cohan or Cole Porter, Lloyd Webber did not retire early and live a life of luxury. Instead, through his creative genius and unique style of composition, Andrew Lloyd Webber has brought musical theater into the mainstream, while simultaneously supporting aspiring musicians to achieve their musical goals. Andrew Lloyd Webber, oldest of two brothers, was born on April 22, 1948. His mother was a pianist, his father a composer, and his younger brother a cellist. Lloyd Webber was a musical prodigy, picking up the violin and French horn at age 3, and started writing his own music at 6. In 1959, he completed his first work, The Toy Theater, and had it published in Music Teacher magazine. As he grew up, he wanted to follow his childhood dream, which wasn't becoming a music writer. Rather, he wanted to be England's chief inspector of ancient artifacts, so his first school of choice was Magdalen College in Oxford, England. He soon, however, grew disinterested in it and started looking for his true calling. He found interest in musical theater and soon switched schools to go to the Royal College of Music to develop and pursue his passion. While at the Royal College of Music, he was contacted by a man named Tim Rice. Tim Rice was originally going to publish a book about the history of pop music, but the head of Arlington Books, Desmond Elliott, instead directed Rice away from it. Instead, Elliott pointed towards Lloyd Webber. Elliott knew that Andrew was looking for a lyricist, and so the two seemed like a perfect match to him. Tim Rice sent a letter in April 1965, acknowledging how Lloyd Webber was looking for a special writer to go with his musical ideas. Tim Rice's specialty in lyric writing was for pop music, and Lloyd Webber took an interest in his skill. They scheduled a meeting shortly after, and this began their very long collaboration in musical writing. Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice came up with their first musical called The Likes of Us in 1965. It didn't gather that much support, and eventually never reached stages until 2005, where it was performed at the Sydmonton Festival in Hampshire. After The Likes of Us failed, Lloyd Webber and Rice began to work on a commission for a new musical that would later be named Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. This musical started out as a small concept album and eventually grew to be a stage performance, hitting its first stage on March 1st, 1968. Joseph ran for a very good time, with each performance getting bigger and bigger until about 1979, where it staged its last performance. To this day, Joseph is still moderately popular and has found its way into many different homes. However, this popularity would be overshadowed early on in 1971 with the release of Lloyd Webber and Rice's next musical, and their biggest one to date. For the first time, Lloyd Webber and Rice bridged the gap between popular music and theater music, and brought an entirely new audience of people into the theater that hadn't appreciated it before. Their big career started with their first hit in musical theater, Jesus Christ Superstar. Jesus Christ Superstar's popularity came with its upbeat rock music used as a background for a religious story. Originally, Superstar was a rock opera, an album that told a story with music that was occasionally written for a screen or a stage, like American Idiot by Green Day and Rent by Jonathan Larson. It exploded in popularity not just with those that like theater, but to those outside that demographic. Normally, people didn't go to musicals because even though they had music in them, musicals didn't have any music that the general mass liked. Lloyd Webber had a unique style when it came to writing pop music. The key to writing successful pop music is to have a strong hook, and Lloyd Webber's songs never failed to have that crucial grabber, the element that made them so catchy and so memorable. It is sometimes said that Lloyd Webber uses hooks like it's a second language. Including pop and rock in musicals interested people and brought them to the theater. Because of this popularity spike with pop music and musicals, other writers tried to copy the formula, and pop songs were made for musicals like Les Miserables, like I Dreamed a Dream, and any Disney musical like Beauty and the Beast or The Lion King. For reference, a successful pop song is any song, including ones from albums or singles that were recorded professionally, mass-produced, and made a large profit or was played on the radio frequently. Those musicals also gained the same kind of fame that Superstar did, and received many positive reviews. So naturally, someone thought they were making the right decision by including this new music. Andrew Lloyd Webber used his talent to his full potential and made lots of money over the years. Not much is known about his sudden motivation to help young musicians in need, nor any history really documented about any philanthropic work beforehand, but in 1992, Lloyd Webber founded the Andrew Lloyd Webber Foundation. The Andrew Lloyd Webber Foundation aimed to promote the arts, culture, and heritage for the public benefit with scholarships and grants. This allowed for organizations such as the Weston Jerwood Creative Bursaries and Kids Company to expand their programs and allow for young musicians, playwrights, and other artists to see their work professionally performed and encourage them to continue their interest in the arts. Andrew Lloyd Webber's generosity, in the wake of his huge commercial success, paved the way for other talented musicians and artists like the ones in smaller organizations to follow in his footsteps. After creating the Andrew Lloyd Webber Foundation, Lloyd Webber continues his work in the musical theater scene. In the later 1990s, Lloyd Webber worked on producing film versions of some of his musicals, such as Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Jesus Christ Superstar, and Phantom of the Opera. He also invested time into writing for more musicals, like Starlight Express and Sunset Boulevard, and producing some other shows, such as The Hired Man, Lend Me a Tenor, and Bridget Rogers and Lawrence Hart's On Your Toes. Lloyd Webber continues to support his foundation in the present day, and still gives money to help organizations in need of assistance. That generosity, combined with a lineup of incredibly famous musicals, makes Andrew Lloyd Webber a leader in the musical world, and his legacy a permanent one.